All right, y'all. It's 2 o'clock. It's 5:30, y'all, on a Tuesday. A little early. I got something to do. Got to make a run. But before we do, we're going to have some fun, baby. You're live with Lonzo. Let's do it like this, y'all. From the West Coast to the East Coast and everything between, folks. From the eve after dark to concerts in the park. You're live with your boy Lonzo, the godfather of West Coast hip hop. This is how we do it every Tuesday. Most of the time. And right around the same time, most of the time. Dusty was just here a minute ago. I'm gonna bring you back soon. The show's back up. In the meantime, folks, let's get this party started. Hey, folks, I see the chat room's already in the house. Dusty was here. I was talking to him a minute ago, and I pushed the live button. He disappeared, but I guess he'll be back in just a hot minute. Hey, folks, everything is cool. Oh man, hey man, LA is on fire. Is it really on fire though? It's just partially on fire. It looks like somebody picked a fight that nobody wanted to fight and mad because people decided to fight back. As you very well know, LA got its issues, Compton, Linwood, Paramount. I got a phone call that some folks is right around the corner from my house deployed at the local grocery store. I'm like, what? Hey man, it's look like somebody has declared war on somebody else who wasn't bothering nobody. But it's what it is. Hold on, let's Dusty, what's happening with you, Doc?
Send me another link for something.
All right.
Yeah, it's not working.
His link got kicked out. I'm gonna send him another link so we get this party started, folks. That's how we do it. Yes, we are live. This is one of the problems and the beauties of being live, because sometimes you have to do what we're doing, because whatever reason they kicked him off the link, and I was talking to him right before the show started, but it's okay. That's what we do, folks. We got to make it happen. Win, lose, or draw. We got to make it happen. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna get Dusty back on the line so we can get this party started in the right way. And my popularity just increased. It's 5:30, so everybody wants my undivided attention, but they can't have it right now. It's me and you right now, me, you, and Dusty. Let's get him on get him back in the show, and let's make this party happen, folks. But yeah, as I was saying, man, it looks like a fight have been picked. We got protesters. We got National Guard. We have Marines. They ain't calling the Marines on nobody for nothing in America, and God knows how long. But all of a sudden, because somebody decided he wants to have a show of force and impress somebody, we got a situation that ain't even necessary. And that's my personal opinion. If I'm wrong, correct me, but I don't think I'm wrong. Dusty is back.
Yeah, let's try this again. What up, man? What up, chat fam? What up, Lonzo?
Oh, man, I'm just talking about the situation in the streets right about now.
Yeah, that was going to be the first thing on my agenda tonight, man. We're going on day 5 of protests throughout Los Angeles in response to the immigration raids conducted by ICE officials. Compton went viral a few days ago when people showed up to a Paramount Home Depot to protest what seemed to be a raid. So far, I'm sure you already jumped into it, but what are your general thoughts on what's going on right now? Then we'll dive a little bit deeper into it.
You know, when you look around, man, and you see the appearance of people that you become accustomed to seeing. I went to 2 Home Depots today. I'm working on my house. I had to get some faucets. I went to Home Depot, and the first thing I noticed was nobody looking to pass me out no business cards, with nobody in front of the Home Depot with no trucks. I noticed on Saturday, my gardener usually shows up to cut lawns in the neighborhood. I ain't seen him this weekend. My neighborhood has a lot of Latino gardeners, and grass is getting tall. I don't think the situation is really necessary. I know there's some things some imbalances that some people are not happy with, but also based on our economics are designed, you have to. It helps to have certain people do certain jobs, because a lot of people ain't gonna pick no fruit, man. A lot of folks ain't, a lot of people ain't picking no fruit. Then you tell people that pick the fruit. For example, pick the fruit. They can't pick the fruit. The farmers got to find a way to get the fruit picked. Then anything coming to the country gets a heavy tariff. Who are you really helping? Who are you trying to help? Who are you trying to help? I'm trying to understand where does the help come in at? How does this benefit anyone? You put a tariff on anything coming to the country. So if you import avocado, we export avocados, but we important soybeans, whatever the case may be, but also the stuff that we're growing in America is rotting on the vine because there's nobody to pick it. How is this supposed to be beneficial to anybody? I'm trying to understand the logic, or is there any logic involved? It's just being vindictive and mean. You take it from there.
Yeah, shout out to Sarah Catherine. She says, my parents told me about the riots yesterday. I personally don't think this is a riot. I lived through the 1992 uprising. That was a riot. This ain't no riot. This is a few idiots who are just running amok. I would say, if I had to guess, 90% of the protesters are protesting peacefully. But what does the media do, Lonzo? They follow the bullshit. We talk about this all the time. Hey, they're being dummies over there. Let's take our cameras over there. Next thing you know, all the cameras are over there. Meanwhile, most of the people over here are protesting peacefully. Oh, the assholes moved over here. Let's go follow them over here. And that's what America is seeing right now. But what do you think? Is this a riot? I mean, what do you think?
You know what? I've been rolling all day long. I roll a lot. I'm usually on the road most of the day. I've seen no impact other than what I just said about Home Depot and some other places that I frequent. I don't see my Latino brothers out there like they were. Okay. I don't see in the street. I don't go down. I don't have to recently go downtown right now, so I'm not on the freeway. But it's one thing, man. It's just amazing how people label different situations. When non-brown people was running up and down Washington, D.C. on January 6th, it was an uprising. They was doing major damage, killed a few people.
What they call it, insurrection or something?
Insurrection. People out here protesting because you're basically kidnapping people. You got people with no identification on them in most cases, masks, no badges, and snatching people off the streets. I think the fact that you low enough to go to a school graduation and start taking people's parents, man, that's terrorism. I'm sorry, Ben. That's terrorism, dude. That's terrorizing people, man. That's hard. It's hard to call that anything else. You going to celebrate your baby's graduation, all of a sudden, he a truck full of damn masked individuals, and they got people's parents scattering, kids is crying. Dude, that's terrorism. People will be fucked up behind that for decades. Dude, that's not how it's supposed to be done, man. And it'd be one thing if you was checking IDs or you just grabbing people, man. There's no protocol. There's no protocol. You fit the description of somebody who's not documented. Oh, you documented too, man. You're already in the truck. Come on, man. But that ain't how we do it in America, dude. That's kidnapping, man. You can't do that. We already did that. And then some people are being shipped to countries they didn't even come from. How are you supposed to get back home? If you get shipped to a country that you don't know nobody, no money, you probably ain't got no money. If you had some, they took it from you. How are you supposed to get back home? Swim? This ain't working, dude. This ain't working.
Let's break it down day by day. So Friday night, when you turned on the TV and you saw that it was going down in Compton, specifically on Atlantic and Alondra, right where that old Golden Bird used to be. I remember that spot very well. But, what did you think? It's being that, this is going down so close to your house. And once again, a few idiots. It's not like it was, everyone doing it. It was a bunch of idiots. But what were your thoughts when you saw your city, it was going down?
First, I thought it was, are you sure it's Compton? And it is Compton, but it's right there near the border of Paramount and Compton.
Right in front of Dale's Donut. You know where Dale's Donut is, right?
Dale's Donut, right. Dale's Donut is right next to Paramount. And a lot of it was also based around the Home Depot, which is right over the freeway. So you got all this, you got a whole area that's between Compton and Paramount that's in an uproar. And I was told that there was some kind of makeshift holding facility right near the Home Depot. Don't hold me to that, but I was told by somebody from Paramount, and that was the main reason why they were focused in that area, because allegedly there was a makeshift holding facility. They were waiting to transport some people, and they was trying to break people out. I don't know, but bottom line is, man, you have grabbed people with no due process and looking to deport them based on their looks, dude. That if that's not racism, and if that ain't racism, my name ain't Lonzo, man. And here's the bad part: I want to bet you, based on what I've seen in the last few months, I realize there's a lot of brown people in the military. There's probably a lot of brown people behind those masks. I wonder how they're feeling about doing their job. Okay. A lot of black people, and it's only a matter of time. I mean, y'all think it's you. The reason why, one of the reasons why the Latino situation is like it is right now, they trusted Donald Trump. A lot of people trusted Donald Trump. Oh, we voted for Mr. Trump. Okay, cool. You thought because you had your papers or you was married to somebody who was here, whatever the case may be, that you were good to go. Hopefully that would have been the case. But as you see, it's not the case. A lot of people who have been here forever, who are legitimate. One family was going down to make sure their immigration papers were being processed properly, and they got snatched up. I just heard that today. So if blacks think because they mess with Latinos today, think they won't mess with black folks tomorrow, because if they start looking for black folks, they can probably start looking for Nigerians and other folks who might, or Jamaicans who might not be licensed, who might not be citizens, which if they just grab people by color, a lot of black folks could end up in the same situation. So we need to be more aware and support this some way, form, or fashion, because just because they not mess with you today, don't mean they won't get to you tomorrow. And that's my opinion. I could be wrong, but I'm just saying, yes, a lot of people believe it. A lot of black people believed in Trump as well. And you see what he's doing economically, socially, morally. The man has no moral fiber whatsoever. And I'm not going to speak too much because I want to get my YouTube channel turned off. But yeah, I don't trust him.
Speaking of black folks, what do you say to people out there? I've been hearing this a lot. People saying, black folks specifically saying, this isn't the black man's fight. What are your thoughts when you hear people say that?
We tried to warn people in the beginning. Okay, I've had debates with various people about this dude, and now that it's in your face, it's real hard to tell somebody, don't touch the oven. It's hot. Oh, it's not that hot. Don't touch the oven. It's hot. And you touch the oven anyway. Now you want me to run down there with some Band-Aids and stuff. I told you the shit was hot. Now, at some point in time, I do believe we're going to have to do some type of find a way to come together and support this situation. Because again, like I said before, I'm a firm believer there's only a matter of time before this shit trickle down to brown, darker people. And that's when the shit going to start for real.
Are we prepared for that, Lonzo? Are we prepared? We got our switches and all that. We ain't prepared for shit, man.
If you can't hop on something, just go hop your way away from it now, man. I just hope that I hope my dad see hope in one hand and shit in the other, see which one fills up the fastest. I just pray that at some point in time the situation dissolves and we can get the military out of here, the National Guard. I mean, this dude just broke all kind of laws. First of all, he's broken all kind of laws. You can't even call the National Guard in without the fucking governor making that call. Then you damn sure can't call the Marines in without somebody. It's not that serious. Yes, it's a protest. Yes, cars are getting burnt up. Yes, windows are getting smashed, but it ain't that dude. In most cases, you can't tell anything is going on. But so you got to understand, it's not just about the Latinos. They're just a a low-hanging fruit for him to do what he really wants, and that's to declare martial law. Once he declares martial law, the Constitution gets suspended. Once the Constitution gets suspended, he calls all the shots. Once he goes into martial law, yeah, I'm not a scholar, but I ain't stupid. When he goes into martial law, that means that he can call all the shots. The Constitution is suspended, and basically he's already acting like it's suspended. He's elevating the situation to justify his actions. And because you got certain news media, certain news outlets that are supporting his actions, they only show you the crazy part. They don't show you people that's riding down the street minding their own damn business. They don't show you that part. They only show you the part where there is a hot spot, and they magnify that to justify his actions.
Stop believing the media, man. This ain't a riot. This is a protest, and there's some dumbass people who are messing it up for everybody, like in any situation. That's my personal opinion.
You have to understand, man, there's people out there that I believe that are their whole goal is to make sure this thing is elevated. Just like during the Rodney King situation, you had people out there passing out bricks. It was a sister. She's like, these dudes are passing out bricks to these guys.
They were doing that during George Floyd too.
That's what I mean. That's when George Floyd. Then you look up in the middle of Beverly Hills, there's a pallet full of bricks. And the guy says, look, there's no construction. Where did these bricks come from? So sometimes people are placed in situations to elevate a situation so that you can take it to the next level, because most people don't respond like that. But you have people that get a little upset. I don't understand why nobody want to raid a 7-Eleven and walk out with a bunch of goddamn Doritos. They're not that damn good. Okay? You risking your freedom for some goddamn Doritos and some sodas? Come on, man. Come on. Y'all got to do better than that. You gotta do better.
Yeah.
So that kind of dumb shit defeats the whole purpose of a legitimate protest. The fact that you're going to run up in the store, steal beer, potato chips, and bang bangs and ho-hos. Come on, man. Come on, dude. You ain't done nothing. You're making yourself look stupid and petty.
Yeah. And I said this on my show last night. There is no peace does not get clicks and views. Only the bullshit gets clicks and views. So that's why they're not going to focus on the peace. Look at our channels, man. I mean, we should be in our minds, we should be in the hundreds of thousands. And good looking out, Marlon Cozy, much love. He said, happy Father's Day and birthday, Unc Dust, and my chat. Good looking out. Good looking out. But yeah, man, peace doesn't sell, Lonzo. Peace doesn't get clicks and views. And that's why they're showing you the pictures of the guy standing on the Waymo with the fire in the back and all of the crazy shit.
I got people calling me, man, thinking that we in full blown George Floyd mode.
Exactly.
And dude, in my world, I don't see that. And my world is pretty vast.
I roam like you, Lonzo. I roam like you. I got caught up in a little bit in downtown LA, but other than that, there was nothing. I haven't seen it. There's no remnants. There have been protests within 5 miles of my place, and nothing has happened.
I ain't seen it. Doing George Floyd, you can look in the sky, see the various fires. I don't see that, dude. I don't see. They didn't call the Marines out for George Floyd. Did they even call out the National Guard for George Floyd? I don't think they did. This is nowhere near with that situation. It's nowhere near that. This nowhere near that. Okay. So again, this is something that's being elevated so that he can make a move. Because I just saw something a minute ago. They're talking about having a curfew. Come on, man. Hey, come on, dude.
It's literally not that serious. It's not that serious.
Not that serious, man. Not that serious. But again, when people have a hidden agenda or alternative motive, they will elevate things to try to justify their actions.
Yeah, it's crazy. Sarah says the news kept saying riot. Sorry, yeah. I have family out of state. They're like, is everything okay? You know, like, dog, yes, everything's fine.
Yeah. It's very isolated, man. It's very isolated.
Let me ask you, Lonzo. Oh, go ahead. Keep going.
No, I'm gonna say it's isolated, dude. That's all.
Yeah. All right. So what should be done about the immigration issue? How should it be done, in your opinion? I mean, opening the borders, letting just anybody and everybody in didn't work. You know, what's going on right now, it doesn't look like that's working too well. If you had a magic wand, how would you fix, and I put fix respectfully and in quotes, but how would you fix the immigration issue?
Well, you know what? They're right next door to us. Mexico is right next door to us. We have too many people with too much fucking money that is they just hoarding. They- Dude, could we invest in Mexico so that we can help Mexico help people are starving and need jobs? You got the cartel over there recruiting kids, killing folks on a regular basis. Could we invest some money into Mexico? Maybe we can save some of the money we spend on China. Well, I know we have factories over there in Mexico. We make cars over there and a few other things, but Mexico is right next door. Okay, Mexico is right next door. Can we invest some money into Mexico so that we can have some services in Mexico that we can access without having to have a 6-week trip across the ocean? Partner with them. The economics, they need the economics over there. They can do a lot better, but you got too many billionaires with hundreds of billions of dollars, and people are starving on people on the streets, and nobody gives a damn. And that's the kind of problem you have. So the bullshit they dealing with is almost worth coming over here and dealing with this bullshit. Okay, it's worth dealing with the bullshit over here because of what they have to deal with over there. You got people allegedly. You have cartels that are murdering people on a regular basis. It's not, they don't feel safe. They seek an asylum. Usually we do that. We do it for non-melanated people, but anybody else is a problem. I think that's some bullshit. But again, I'm thinking that if we was open up some factories over there or support them in a way that they can be self-sufficient and stop trying to take over people all the time, why you just can't partner with somebody and create an economic system that we both can benefit from? And because basically they come here to work. They come here to work. Nobody wants to pay since the minimum wages went up to $20 in most cases. Everybody's pitching a bitch. Mexico didn't do that. Mexico didn't do that. Okay, Mexico they don't have the same minimum wages we do. So if y'all so concerned about money, which is the goddamn shame, that's all they're concerned about is money. Find a way to let them allow them to make money in their own country, so they won't be. Well, it's part of their country too. So I can't even fight that one, dude. God damn it, this is fucked up. It's fucked up. Are you frozen?
No. Can you see me?
Yeah, I see you, but you're frozen.
Oh, really? I think to the audience, I might be good. Am I frozen, audience? Let me know, chat fam, if I'm frozen. If so, I will. Let me ask them. Am I frozen? If so, I'll log out. But yeah, it sucks. It's a touchy subject. It sucks for a lot of people involved, and I don't know, man. It's looking okay. Okay, everyone's saying I should be good. Yeah. All right. Well, what's next, Lonzo? What do you think is next? I mean, do you think this fight's going to go on for a long time? Do you think I personally think once the media and once it stops trending, people like anything else are just going to trail off and forget about it. But what do you think? What's next?
Man, I hope that's the case, Dusty. I really do. I just hate seeing unnecessary bullshit be the center point of the news or anything else. People, this is what this dude does, man. He loves being the center of attention. He talks a big game. He talked a big game to China and back the fuck up like Michael Jackson. He talked a big game to everybody, back the fuck up. You know, I remember one time there was a few years ago, there was the Latinos decided they was going to say we're not working for a whole day. You couldn't get shit done.
A day without a Mexican, right?
It was not long ago that happened. You couldn't get shit done. Okay, that's a power move. That's a very powerful move to make on any economic system, and they may have to do that again. I don't know. Many people like cutting their own lawns. I don't like no people like cleaning their own houses. I know nobody want to go pick no fruit. That's for damn sure. So many jobs that Latinos have become accustomed to doing. And I hate to sound racist. I don't even want to sound like that, but they have a different way of dealing with family. So you have a family living in a house and everybody's working. You know, it's a sense of camaraderie, different sense of family. Where a house as big as mine, it might be, it might be double the people living. I got 5 people living in my house. It might be 10 with them, but it works for them. They have a lot more sense of family, and they work together to make things happen. And well, they don't care what. Most cases, they don't care. I don't even want to say this shit half the time, man, because I don't want to get misconstrued. I'm not putting nobody down, but I'm just being observant. Okay, I'm just being observant, and it in the wrong hands. One of these clips can Alonzo. No, I'm not. I was raised around Latinos. Half my family is Latino, so that's why it affects me personally. I got grandkids that are half Latino. Come on, man. This is some bullshit. What am I supposed to do? What if somebody snatch my grandkids? What am I supposed to do, man? Snatch up my daughter-in-law and my grandkids because they don't know they ain't got an ID on or some shit. Man, that's bullshit. That shit is personal. That shit's personal. And I ain't the only one, Doc. I'm not the only one. So I don't have a solution for it. I'm not a politician, but it just seems to me that if somebody was to take a few of them billions and drop them right across the border and make life a little bit easier for some folks over there, you might be able to do some things and take some pressure up. Nobody wants anybody running from a place that they can prosper in. But you got a handful of people who want all the goddamn money and don't want to give nobody shit. Well, you want to pay taxes on the money that they're getting. You got all this money, and then you got to cut taxes because you don't want to give no money back. Meanwhile, you want to squeeze a little bit. Come on, man, this ain't working, dude. It's not working. The business model is not a good business model.
There it is. I know the world wanted to hear, the chat fam wanted to hear Lonzo's point of view on it. There you go. We rarely talk about politics, but this is a huge issue, so we definitely had to touch on it. But let's continue, Lonzo. We're about halfway through the show almost, and before we continue, I'm gonna ask everybody to hit that like button if you haven't already. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. You are tuned in to N.W.A. Stories with Alonzo Williams, the godfather of West Coast hip hop. I am Dusty Vision. Shout out to the chat fam. And once again, thank you, Marlon Cozy, for that 1999, man. Appreciate you. But let's see, Lonzo, Monday, June 16th. Technically, you have 2 birthdays.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that, man. How'd that happen?
My brother, bless his soul, he liked using illegal pharmaceuticals, and he would use my name to avoid getting arrested by the police. He knew my name, knew my birthday, he knew where I lived at. So when he would get pulled over by the cops or he got busted by the police, he would give them my name, and my name was clean as a whistle, and he would get to sign a ticket, go on by this business. Well, one Friday night, I'm at the pad by myself, house clean. I'm about to jump in the shower. I got a hot one. Knock come at the door. Who is it? LAPD. Yeah, right, man. Quit bullshit. I said, who is it? LAPD. Did you open the door, please? Man, I'm finna cuss somebody out, and there's 2 cops at my front door, a black one and a white one. Kind of older. They're not them stormtroopers that you see on TV. Kind of, these guys, they a little older. I said, can I help you? He says, yes. Alonzo Williams? I said, yeah. How can I help you? Could you step outside, please? For what? Could you step outside? So I open the door up. Could you put your hands behind your back? Wait a minute. Hold on. What are we doing here? We have a warrant for your arrest. Huh? What are you talking about? So because they was older, they were cool. I said, man, what are you talking about? He showed me this paper where I was supposed to be in court. I figured to appear. I said, I didn't do that. That's not my signature. That's my brother. I said, did he have a driver's license on there? He said, nope. I said, that's why he don't know my driver's license. I said, I know my license by heart. I told him what my driver's license was. Showed him my ID, and he saw on my ID my signature, and the ticket did not match. He says, the cop says to the other cop, he says, man, I knew something was wrong. We pulled up. This don't seem right. This neighborhood just don't seem like that kind of neighborhood. And I think the ticket was for possession or something I was supposed to have done. He was supposed to have done that just didn't fit the description of where I live at. And they says, do you know who your brother is? I said, I know exactly where he is. He's probably over so-and-so's house. So they gave me a ticket to bring my brother to court. They gave me a ticket to bring my brother to court. I had 2 weeks to find my brother and bring him to court. I found him, took him to court. He apologized, like he always did. And we go before the judge, and the judge don't want to let me go. I'm in court. I didn't sign my name 3 times. My brother signed his name 3 times. My brother's signature was a dead-on match to the ticket. I'm thinking I'm finna go, and the DA and the judge. Well, how do we know this? How do we know this is not the good brother paying the other brother to take the case? So man, I didn't do this. They came to my house looking for me because of this ticket right here. Now, it's what I'm about to say really sounds messed up, but my brother, I knew he had issues, but. And this is where a lot of cats may differ. Am I supposed to go sit my ass in jail for something I did not do? That was basically set up for, or, and for lack of better words, turn my brother in. Am I a snitch? Or I'm just a brother that I'm not gonna let you and nobody else ruin my reputation and get me locked up for something I did not do. So anyway, the judge finally conceded, and I had to leave my brother in court. He ended up doing 6 weeks in jail behind this shit, but it was the best 6 weeks he ever did because he came out, he was clean as a whistle. And that's no bullshit. So then, because my brother was using my driver's license, my ID to avoid arrest, I went to DMV and had the A dropped off my name. So now my name was Lonzo on my driver's license. So when it came time to renew my license, they wouldn't give it to me because there was no A on the license. And I had to go get a copy of my birth certificate because I couldn't find it. And the ladies DMV, when I got my driver's license, my birth certificate back, it had the 18th on there, which was not true because I was born on June 16th, Father's Day, 1957. But for some reason, that's the date they had on my birth certificate. So I had to go with it. So that's one of my drivers. That's what's on my birth certificate. But most of my documentation, they're very generous today. Most of my documentation says the 16th, and some says the 18th. So I celebrate the 16th as my birthday, but on Facebook it'll pop up as the 18th because that's why I had to have my license and shit. So it is.
Good looking out, Rashard. Let's get to his question since he donated $5. And if anyone else is feeling generous out there, there's a little $sign right below the chat. Shoot the channel a few dollars. We really appreciate it. But Rashard says, my birthday is Friday. Geminis, what up? I didn't know you did production for Ice-T's 2006 album Gangsta Rap. Do you have any great stories of Ice-T? Have we talked about that?
I didn't do that. That wasn't me.
Mm-mm.
Some people they may confuse me with unknown. I never worked with Ice-T.
Yeah, that's probably unknown. That sounds more like an unknown thing, right? Because
unknown did 6 in the morning for Ice-T.
Exactly.
He did 6 in the morning and something else for Ice-T, but it was not me.
Okay. Oh, he said that's what I was wondering. Oh, he says, do you have any great stories of Ice-T? Also.
No, but I do remember one time he and I had a conversation. We were on tour, and it was Ice-T, Just Ice, N.W.A, and World Class Wrecking Crew. We was touring down south, and this was the first time I was the only non-gangster on the whole damn tour. And me and Ice-T was sitting on the balcony at this hotel just talking about this shit because the night before it was goddamn chaos. Oh, it was chaos. I'm not used to this kind of chaos, fighting in hotels, fighting in the arena, fighting. I don't do that shit. Only fight we got is which girl is coming back to the room. And he was trying to. He and I both were discussing, is this shit gonna get any worse? Because we cool, but damn, man, he and I about the same age, so we got different attitudes when it comes to certain shit. When it comes down to real men talking. We had a very interesting conversation about the future of rap and how this shit is it going to really survive this type of activity? Because when you start talking about violence in concerts and hotel rooms that non-melanated people own, you're talking about a lot of cancellation shit, man. A lot of cancellation because nobody wants to deal with that shit.
Some Pieface says Alonzo Justice Williams produced the track, not N.W.A. Alonzo. I never heard of Alonzo Justice Williams. Have you, Alonzo?
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I'm even looking it up right now. Huh.
Yeah,
Interesting.
never heard of it. There's a couple
Yeah,
of us out there. I ain't never heard of Justice.
Yeah. Let us know what else you know about that in the chat. We really appreciate it. Last week, Lonzo, when we were talking to Kid Frost, great call, by the way. If anyone hasn't checked that out, go back. It was one of our bigger shows last week. There were a lot of comments, people on some of the stuff Kid Frost said. But Lonzo, you performed for N.W.A. Tribe. I don't think we ever really discussed that other than briefly bringing it up during the Frost call. But can you talk to us about what you remember about the N.W.A. Tribe, the Samoan homies out of Carson, California?
There's some big son bitches. That's what I remember. They some big dudes. And one thing about them, if they like you, they love you. I'll never forget. I was at an event, Licorice Pizza over on I think it's Adams, and the N.W.A. Tribe was there. I hadn't seen these guys in years, and I walked up and said, "Lonzo!" He hot, one of the tall ones, man. Some bitch picked me up like I was a baby. I'm not Bush. I'm a grown ass man. This is in the early 2000s, maybe late 99 or something like that. Lonzo! And bitch picked me up and gave me a big ass hug. I'm like, God damn, put me down. But yeah, super cool dudes, man. Till they get pissed off. You don't want to be around. You don't be around. They get all their money from the promoters. I toured. That's when the one dude that died, I think they call him the Godfather or something like that. He had the derby hat and the cane, and I think he was the one that died. And there was another one that was huge. He must have been about 6'3", 6'4", but just all muscle. And that's the one that he and I can't think of nobody's name right now, but he was one of the ones that was super cool with me. But we toured with them for a hot minute, and that was an interesting situation because people wasn't used to that. They weren't used to that at all. But it was cool. We developed a good relationship though, man.
Do you remember them being, blooded out? Yeah, they were famously from the Pyru set there in Carson. Do you remember them being, draped in all red and bringing that?
Not on tour, but I do remember a story that's very true. In Centerview, which is also blood territory. Centerview off of Avalon, right before you get to the 91 freeway, a Samoan family got jammed up by the sheriff, and they came out so strong they backed the sheriff down. Sheriff had, we ain't fucking with y'all. They backed him up. There were so many of them, so big, and they came out so strong. The sheriff like, this ain't worth the hassle, and they left him alone.
Damn. Let's give a shout out to him. So it was Vincent Gotti Duveau, Donald Cobra Duveau, Roscoe Murder One Duveau, and David EKA Duveau. And then the past members was Ted Godfather Duveau, RIP, Paul Gangster Rid Duveau, RIP, and Danny Monster O Duveau, RIP.
Yep.
N.W.A. Tribe. And you said they loved some World Class Wrecking Crew, right? Did you say that?
They were break dancers. They'd be breaking like breaking like a son of a gun, Doc. They weren't always banged out. You got to realize, man, this is back in the early 80s. Gangster rap had not really fully taken charge of taking over the music industry, and folks were still people were still dancing. And you got these guys break dancing and pop locking in the whole 9 yards. Big son of bitches hitting it. No bullshit.
I would love to know your thoughts on this, Lonzo. Jadakiss and Fat Joe, they have a podcast together. They recently went viral for this statement. And this has been brought up in the past, but now that it's going viral, I'd love your thoughts on it. They said, and I quote, "Hip-hop is the most dangerous job in America." We've heard that before, but when you hear that, Lonzo, what are your thoughts?
Hip hop has been made one of the most dangerous jobs in America, behind the necessity to maintain a low level street attitude at all times. Hip hop does not embrace education, man. Hip hop does not embrace positivity. I just read where a brother out of, I think of Chicago, positive rapper, got killed. I mean, it's just amazing, man, that when you have a situation that is created by us that's been used against us to destroy us. I mean, remember 2 years ago, every week we were reading somebody's obituary. That was not being, in Chicago. 2 years, was it 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago, we on a weekly basis, I think we did 52 shows, maybe 49 of them had somebody that was dying. And that's just me and you. These are the ones that that just got our attention. How many of them didn't get our attention? How many of them didn't make the national news? And when you have a mentality that is has not elevated in quite some time, man, and it's like instead of it elevating, it's retracting. You tell guys, hey man, you can't go nowhere all that jewelry on. But they feel they have to try and defy the local cats. And just like your boy PB, was it PB? It got killed at Roscoe's. Dude,
PNB Rock.
PNB Rock. You ain't supposed to do no shit like that. Nowhere. Not only in LA. That's like a chick walking on the street butt ass naked on the ground with her legs up and wonder and get mad because somebody hitting. Come on, man. You can't, certain shit that don't make sense. Certain shit just don't make no sense. And the stupidity and the ignorance level that has infiltrated hip hop to make it non-progressive and almost, like I said, almost the mentality is going retro as opposed to being expanded with all the different things that have developed around the hip hop era. For us to be stuck on still focused on killing each other or being gangsters at this stage in the game is really not. It's really stupid, man. I'm sorry. Yes, unfortunately I have to agree with him, man. Unfortunately, I have to agree with him, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
It fosters I saw a fool today. Man, Kendrick ain't never gang bang, blah, 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 blah. Nigga, what? That's good. What? You make this, he make it seem like it was a problem because he never gang bang. But he does wear his little red accessories from time to time. He talks a little bit, but he never said he did nothing. But you make it seem like because he didn't do something that makes him unauthentic. But look how far he's gotten from not being from that. He's up there with a lot of people who've been doing this for a long time. He surpassed a lot of people in opportunity, money, and status because he didn't do certain shit. And I'm trying to understand, how is it that nobody can see that? The brother, yes, he's from a certain neighborhood. He understands where he's from. And because he did not gangbang, he's respected for that. And he still show love to his hood. Come on, man. Come on. This man travels the world. He travels the country. He travels the world. Just because the fact that he is a superstar in his own right puts a target on his back. Now you want to put a low-level target on his back by having him gang affiliated? Come on, man. I tell you what. A lot of the artists that you see that decided to go retro gang banging, you don't see them as much as you used to. They still do their shows from time to time. But I was just watching that movie with Chris Brown and Michael Ealy and Idris Elba the other night. And I said, that's before Chris Brown decided to become a blood. He was still clean cut. And I remember watching him in that movie, a Christmas movie. The dude had a great career. Then he started getting a bunch of tattoos. You don't see him in movies like he used to. He still does the show. He's still a good performer, but he's stunting his career by with that association. You don't see Lil Wayne. He still may do shows, but he probably won't do no Super Bowl. His representation is too limited, man. It's too limited. And when you have that affiliation, it does stunt your growth because you become a risk factor. And business is a risk as it is. Why add to the risk by having invest in somebody who might not be alive in 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, damn. That's deep. Hey, you know what? That reminds me, and thank you, Marlon, for reminding me to talk about this. But it seems like YouTube, Lonzo, is the new gangster rap. And I say that because, all right, I don't know if you heard of it, Lonzo, but there was a shooting in front of the Bellagio Hotel in Las Vegas 2 nights ago. And it
Yep.
actually started out over YouTube. Now, I'll give everyone who and yourself a background of the two shows that were beefing for anyone who doesn't know. One of the guys had a YouTube channel. His name was Manny. One of the guys had a YouTube channel. His name was Finny. Now, they've been beefing on YouTube for quite some time, doing hours and hours and hours of content on each other, going back and forth, saying some of the most disrespectful stuff you can imagine. One of the guys, Manny, is from Las Vegas. The other guy, Finney, made a video saying he and his lady are going to be in Vegas. So he taunted Manny, meet up with me. I'm in your city. You ain't going to do nothing. So Finney ends up taking a video, and I may be having the names mixed up. It sounds like the damn Manny and Finney show, but Finney ends up taking a video in front of the Bellagio. Manny shows up on camera, pops him and his girl, and someone else, a bystander, got it. So 3 people hit on the Las Vegas Strip. 2 of them are now deceased. One of them was a YouTuber with about 8,000 subscribers. I mean, you know, that's a great feat, but that's not enough to be, if there's even a number that you should die over. But he died over 8,000 subscribers, Lonzo. When you hear that story, what are you thinking, man?
Man, look, I think that YouTube needs to stop posting any of this negative bullshit, because all it does is incite stupidity like this right here. You know, certain things can't go on television because of the possibility of inciting a situation like what we have right now. But YouTube don't have the same filter, especially when it comes to black kids, black folks. It don't have the same filters. You can't post certain things about certain people on YouTube. You can't do things about the Jewish community, skinhead. You can't do certain shit. But when it comes to us, they'll allow us to go back and forth at the expense of another one's life. Okay, it should be some things that are restricted from YouTube. Nah, this ain't about free speech. With free speech, you be able to say anything about anybody anytime you want to. Because this ain't about free speech. It's a certain shit you are not allowed to do on these social media channels. And this is one of the things that should be thrown in that same box. You can't have 2 cats beefing back and forth and allow this to escalate to a situation where two people end up dead over a YouTube beef. But because YouTube and so many other social media platforms, like I said before, they don't click. They click everything. Everything counts. So they inspire people or encourage people to do dumb shit to get more clicks, to get more views, so they can increase the advertising revenue and make more money at the expense of somebody else's life. They don't care if that guy's going to jail. They don't care about the people just got killed. They don't care. I saw the video right after it happened. Hit my feed, and of course the streams went through the roof. Meanwhile, 2 people are dead, another man going to jail for life. And the video is going to keep on rolling. He might get some money put on his books. But again, you got a lot of people who don't have any real social skills. They're real insecure. They don't have they don't know how to take a negative comment. People are sensitive. You got cyber bullies. You got people people that are basically and for the most part don't have the mental aptitude to deal with somebody having a problem with them. And that shit, just like in hip hop, will turn violent if given the opportunity.
Facts. All right, Lonzo, for the last 10 minutes of the show, I want to kind of, I want some Lonzo game, some grown ass man enlightenment. A lot of cats out there didn't grow up with the father in the house. They probably didn't hear a lot of game growing up. The game they got was from the outside, from the streets, not from a man, 25, 30 years his elder. But remind everyone how old you're going to turn on the 16th.
I'll be 68 years old.
68, bro. You look good as fuck for 68, man. 68.
Thank you.
Okay. 68, Lonzo. All right. So they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but I think an intelligent person, even at our age, we're constantly learning life lessons. You know, we get some game, whether it be from people older than us or someone younger than us. But what is the biggest life lesson you've learned recently? Just randomly, could have read something, someone could have dropped a little gem on you. What's the most biggest life lesson you've gotten recently?
Either you're at the table or you're on the menu. Either you're at the table or you're on the menu. That simply means if you're not involved, you're the one they plotting to affect. Okay, and that's real simple, dude. Either you're at the table or you're on the menu. And that right there, when I heard that saying, that blew me away to no end. And I've repeated it on a regular basis. And that's why I get involved in my community. That's why I get involved in different things around my area. That's why I'm involved in this channel. If you can't be an asset, man, you have to, excuse me, you have to be aware of what's going on. But in order to be aware, you have to be at the planning table to know what's going on. Being the president of the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce puts me in a position to be invited to a lot of meetings. So I know what's happening before it hits the streets when it comes to different things in the city. I have relationships with different people from the city, so they keep me informed of what's going on. And usually, and because I have a platform, whether it be this channel or my newspaper, I can share that with people. So some things you can prepare for on a negative way, some things you can prepare for on a positive way. I'm working on the Olympic Committee. I know what's going to be happening in regards to that area and Olympics. So you might want to put something together so when the Olympics hit in a couple of years, you can get you a few dollars. When the Olympics come to California, pray to God this dude don't blow it where it don't come to California. But damn, that could be a long-term situation too. That we'll talk about that later. It could be a lot of money, but you can't wait until they light the torch to get ready for it. You need to know what they're going to be doing, how they're going to be doing it, so you can find a way to get involved. But you can't just wait until here they come. They get off the plane at the airport, and they got the torch going down Crenshaw, wherever it's going to be coming down, and you trying to figure out how you're going to get some money out of this Olympics. You can't wait that long, dude. Or you might want to get an Airbnb, put together an Airbnb situation where you can get some money because hotel's going to be through the roof. Hotel's going to be through the roof. You might want to start driving Uber because what I understand, there will be no private cars allowed on any of these lots coming up when it comes. It's going to be all public transportation, which means it's going to be buses, trains, and ride share. So knowing these kind of things are going to be happening, you can find you a way to participate, maybe not in a direct way, but in the indirect way. I can't give you an idea. I don't have one right now, but I know I'm working on some logos and some T-shirts and some shit specifically for Compton. I know Compton has a huge name around the world, and people are going to want to have some Compton shit. Okay, simple as that. So either you at the table or you on the menu. And if you ain't invited, bring your own damn chair and sit at the end like you do at the goddamn card table when you're the kid. That's real talk.
I like that. All right, let's go to hypothetical world. If you could talk to an 18-year-old you, a 17 and 364 days, day before you're about to turn 18, about to be an adult, and I put it, adult in quotes. Sometimes it takes others longer than others, but it seemed like you got it pretty early. But if you could talk to an 18-year-old you, what would you tell him?
17-year-old Lonzo, I had a baby. Tomorrow is my daughter's 50th birthday party, dude. My 50th anniversary from my high school is on the 12th. So I've already being prepared for adulthood at 17. So I can't say it was a mistake because I love my daughter dearly, and I just would have. I just would have been prepared. Hey, man, you about to make some good things happen. Be prepared for some life changing situations, and put more money away, buy more property, and be more open to investments like the stock market and things of that nature. Okay, I didn't. Everybody around me as a young man did not like the stock market. That was white boy investments. Only person that had any real investments I knew of was Jeff D. I didn't know. I didn't really hang out with him when I was 17. I didn't meet him until I was 22. But again, a 17-year-old Alonzo would have been put money away back then. I know guys that did put money. It wasn't but $50 a month, but you'd be surprised. $50 a month, 50 years. Putting away for 50 years, dude, the compound interest and the compound interest on that would be phenomenal right about now. We wouldn't be doing this podcast from my house. We'd be doing it from the moon.
I would love your thoughts on this comment that was just made in the comment section. I asked you about, if you could talk to an 18-year-old you, what would you tell him? Pass the Joint podcast says, and don't let Andre Young out of your camp. What would you say to that?
That's a good comment, but here's the problem. If Andre Young had stayed in my camp, he might not have blossomed the way he did. I tell people all the time, the best thing I did for Dr. Dre was not get him out of jail for the second time, because that's when he went to Eazy-E. I'm wired differently. It's only certain things that I'm a different generation than he is. I'm a different generation from Cube. I'm a baby boomer. I come from a responsible era. I could not stand by and promote bitches with attitude, or the niggas with attitude. I couldn't do it. I couldn't promote bitches and hoes. We couldn't even do it back then. Yes, if I knew he was going to be a billionaire, I might have tapped into a point deal with Jerry Heller or Eazy-E. I might have did that. But I just like Eazy let him go. Now people talk about me. He was already doing shit with Eazy, and Eazy let him go, but he let him go with a tax. Maybe I would have done something more like that. I'd have put a tax on him. That way I could still I'd be right next door to him in up in them hills. That's the only thing I probably would change different. I'd have put a tax on him, because again, I could honestly say I've been in my house for 40 some odd years, man. All the crews have come to my house, the Freaky Boys, N.W.A, Ice Cube, Sound Control Mob. I've always been respected. I've never had a fight in my house. I've never had anybody do anything stupid in my house. I always was a respected OG in my house. And sometimes if you try to be cool, try to be people's friend, they'll try to run over you. I was never their friend. I was cool, but I was never their friend. So I always had a big dog attitude. And my big dog attitude might not have been conducive for the gangster lifestyle. They had to be bigger. They had to portray themselves as being tougher than they really were. And I knew better. I was the one doing all the dumb shit away from them. I never would include them in my dumb shit. I had my own fat folks that I did dumb shit with. I had my problem with the police. I went to jail like folks. I am not an angel. I was not an angel back then, but they were not included in my shit. They were too young. If I had to do something, I'd never call them. So a young Dr. Dre, a young unproven Dr. Dre, it's hard to say what you would not have, if that's the case, I wouldn't have sold the 5 or 6 64 Chevys. I had 64 Chevys. I've had 63 Chevys. I had Malibus. I've had GTOs. I've had all kind of cars. At that time, they were only worth what they were worth at that time. Now they're worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, some of them. But at that time, they was worth 400. And that's the part people keep forgetting. At that time, they was only worth $400. At that time, his value had not been established yet. So it's hard for me to look back at, if I saw it coming, yes, I may have cut my deal differently, but I wouldn't have held him back. I'm not a gatekeeper. I was my era of music was dance music. We were doing dance music. If he wanted to leave, we go do something else because that was the original plan for him to produce the other stuff, just like George Clinton was producing Parliament and Funkadelic. That was the plan, and that plan worked out better because they were never supposed to be. They were never supposed to do what they did. They were never supposed to be where they were. They were supposed to be underground, having some fun, cussing people out, talking shit like Rudy Ray Moore, and it went to another level. All happened all on an accident behind the riots and the FBI letter. Those two things changed their lives forever. They were getting cussed out by the feds. They was a subject of investigation. They was being talked about by the vice president's wife. Come on, man. Y'all forget this shit. Y'all forget this shit. They had bulldozers running over their shit. It's not the same, dude. And we talking about the beginning of an era that went through some shit that nobody really wanted to volunteer for that shit. They didn't want to be in that shit, but they were. They had to go through it to get where they were. But when they came out of it, they came out superstars. More power to them.
There it is. There it is. All right, Lonzo, any last words before you hit him with that outro?
Nah, man, I just got to give a shout out to my daughter and my grandkids. I lost my son-in-law yesterday. He just suddenly died, man. Just 50. He'll be 54 on the 28th of June. And what's really messed up is tomorrow is my daughter's birthday, and she got to prepare for her husband's funeral. So, folks, when you're out here doing your thing, man, remember tomorrow ain't promised, man. I talked to their brother a couple of days ago. He was all right. And yesterday I got a call at 2 o'clock in the morning. He fell out in the bedroom. He was non-responsive. So this is real talk, bro. It's real talk. Take care of yourself. Your health is your wealth. I can't say he was doing anything bad. I know he just got diagnosed with diabetes, but it wasn't that serious. But nonetheless, he's no longer with us. So I got to show love for my family, my daughter, my grandkids. They're going through it right now. We all going through it. And everybody watching this podcast, man, hey, Doc, you got. So take care of it.
Much love, Lonzo. My condolences, as I said earlier, and my heart's with your family. And just let me know if you need anything, all right?
You got it, Doc. All right, folks, thank y'all very much. I see the comments in the chat room. We're about to get up out of here, folks. But before I go, I got to let you know, for those who never heard of me, I'm the first one to put Dr. Dre in the surgery, stuck Ice Cube in the freezer till he got cold on the eve after dark, 50-yard line at the Super Bowl. In the movie Straight Outta Compton, they played me like a hater of rap. Don't believe that Hollywood bullshit because it was all cap. My history goes deeper than you will ever know. Just remember that N.W.A. stands for not without Alonzo. Peace.